you're here if you are wanting to learn about the color schemes and color groupings that we are going to use for our self-portrait gridded project. So last year in Art 1, you studied the different color schemes and you learned a lot of schemes that went well together, like so. And one of them was analogous. So your analogous color schemes, and we're going to use that for this project. So go ahead and write analogous. Your analogous color schemes, color scheme with colors right next to each other on the wheel. So your analogous color schemes, we're going to go ahead and color groupings right underneath. If I just colored all of them together, they wouldn't be showing me what they are as a group, but you can see the first one is red, orange, and yellow. And red, orange, and yellow, if you'll remember, are a color scheme on their own. That is the warm colors. So I'm going to circle those so that they stay together, and I'm going to write warm underneath. And if you need to pause the video to finish the notes or to take the time to find these colored pencils, please do that. But the next one is going to be orange, yellow. Wow, my yellows are not loving me today. Orange, yellow, and green. So when I look at my color wheel here, they're the analogous colors because they're right next to each other. So red, orange, yellow, and then orange, yellow, green, and then I'll just keep going. Yellow, green, blue, and so on and so forth. So we're just gonna keep going. Yellow, green, blue, and then green, blue, purple. Okay, all my color pencils are being ornery. Purple, and I'm gonna circle those separate color groupings. Blue, purple, blue, purple, and then we're going back to red. And then the last one is purple, red, orange. So this grouping, and then these, blue, green, purple, are the cool colors. So make sure you color those different groupings and separate them because they're separate amongst themselves. So each one of these color groupings has an individual color in it, and those are the hue. So this is a key vocabulary, hue, that we're going to use later. This is where a color is on the wheel. So what I mean by that is, where is it? Is it in the red groups? Is it in the orange groups? So we use red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Okay, so its hue means, is it a generalized color of that? So if I look at this color right here, it wouldn't be like mustard. We wouldn't call its hue mustard. We would call its hue yellow, even though it's like a form of yellow. That makes sense. Okay, so our next one would be value. Value is how light or dark a color is. And so if we want to go really, really light, that would be called a tint. And how we get really, really light is by adding white to our color. And then if we want to go really, really dark, that would be called a shade. And to get to a shade, we would add black to our color. Okay, in our last key vocabulary, hue, value, the last one is intensity. So intensity is the brightness of colors. And then a little asterisk here, little star, to lower the intensity. Add its complement. Okay, so this complement color, it should be familiar with you because we learned about complementary colors last year in Art 1. And just as a review, complementary colors are colors opposite on the wheel. Okay, so if I look at my color wheel, the complementary color to red would be green over here, and the complementary color to orange would be blue. And we remember when complementary colors are right next to each other, they make each other super, super bright. That's why red and green are Christmas colors. So they're super bright in the wintertime and stand out. That's why orange and blue is picked with sports teams like the Broncos. And that's why yellow and purple are picked on sports teams like the Lakers or the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings or something like that, because they are meant to be the colors that stand out on a field or a court or something like that. Okay, so to lower the intensity, would add the complementary color. So let me show you what I mean by that. When I look at my chart here, this is how people tend to find those colors. If you've ever seen people start with a color of something and then they start mixing something really fast and then they can color match that very easily, that's because they followed this routine. They look for the hue. Where is it on the color wheel? Is it more of a blue color? Well, then I would start with blue, right? Then they go down to their value. So how light or dark is it? Do I need to add some white to get to that color? Do I need to add some black to get to that color? And then at the very end, they check out the intensity. So the intensity is how bright is it? So if I have a pure yellow and I haven't mixed anything into it, it's going to be super intense, right? But to get lower in my intensity, I'm going to add its complement. So the complement of yellow is purple. So I add that to make it more muted. And so how this works is, complementary colors, when you mix them together, they make brown. So that will then make my color start to edge towards a brown color as I add its complementary color. Okay, so that's the last thing. I'm going to zoom in here for you. It's the last thing to write. The reason why your color gets less intense when you add its complement is that the complementary colors mixed make brown. Whoop, sorry, I ran out of, wasn't on the page there, but the reason why your color gets less intense when you add its complement is that the complementary colors mixed make brown. And so take the time to write that last thing, because it's very important to know why your colors need to get to where they need to get to. So going back to my color here, I would start with my hue, probably begin with the fact that it's a yellow, and then check my value. Is this adding white or is this adding black? It looks like maybe it would be adding a little bit of white to me, but it looks like it's a darker color. So maybe that means I needed to lower its intensity. So then I would add purple to my yellow to make this color begin to form. And then I could reevaluate and maybe go back up to my value. Do I need to add black again? I don't know. Okay, so that's how you mix and get the colors that you might need for your project. So good luck.